Hello, and welcome to this MBL Seminars webinar on Mastering Source of Wealth and Funds Enquiries. As you probably know, my name is Trevor Hallowell. I am a solicitor, though I've spent the bulk of my time on the training and consultancy circuit, talking to a wide range of audiences for a rather large number of years, but talking specifically about anti-money laundering law, practice and procedure since 2003, so quarter of a century in the game, as one might put it. Where I think we have got to, where the regulations have taken us to, where the regulators have taken us to, is a position where, as professionals, we need to be gatekeepers. It's a phrase which has been bandied around in the anti-money laundering circuit for long enough, and I tend to think, gatekeepers, and I haven't used it, but now I feel it's probably the best way of describing what our duties amount to. What I mean by gatekeepers is that we should only be letting clients have access to the legal services that we can offer if we're happy that they can answer to our satisfaction three key questions. Who are you and can you prove it? Secondly, where do you get your wealth from? And thirdly, where do the funds for this particular transaction come from? And the differentiation that I make between those questions is the first two, who are you and can you prove it and where do you get your wealth from, are what one might term a client risk assessment. Who is the client and where do they get their money from? That is the key questions that one can focus on from a client risk assessment point of view. The third question, where do the funds for this particular transaction come from, is a matter risk assessment, which is a separate part of the process. But broadly, we have to have satisfactory answers to those three key questions before we fling open the doors and let them in. And that, I think, is effectively where the regulations and regulators have taken us to. Obviously, when I talk about money laundering, there's a whole vast plethora of financial crimes about which all of us have to remain alert every waking moment of every working day. But my contention, as I'm sure you'll have heard me say before, is that if we are doing our money laundering job properly, if we're asking those gatekeeping questions properly and thoroughly, then that to some extent answers the rest of these financial criminal activities. I mean, money laundering is the process of putting bad money into a good deal. Mortgage fraud is the converse. It's putting good money into a bad deal. But there's terrorism, proliferation, financing, sanctions, the Financial Action Task Force list of uncooperative territories, the accounts rules, bribery, cybercrime, AI exacerbated, the hacking attacks, a whole range of things. And we have to remain vigilant to all of it. But if we're doing our money laundering job properly, asking about source of wealth and funds, as well as the client's identity, then that to some extent should throw up any suspicions that we might have of any of these adverse consequences.